In this video, we will start the process of applying the automatic detection algorithm to our data. I will leave the mathematical details of how this algorithm works to the paper, but I will go through practically how it works in the data manager. We are going to apply something called templated processing, and what that means is that we will find the parameters for how to run the algorithm in one t-series, and we'll use those parameters to apply those to the rest of the data. In that way, we'll process all the data with the parameters we found on the t-series we set as a template. This is because we want to apply the same type of criteria in all our data for the data to be similar. There are three steps involved in this algorithm. The first is signal-to-noise optimizing. Then the second is setting a threshold over which the signal is counted as activity, and this is a manual step. And then finally, we will apply the template processing. This is a process that can take a little bit of time depending on the size of your data, such as your frame rate. But usually on a fast computer, it's done in not that long. We're talking minutes rather than days. Of course, if you have a lot of data, the batch process can run for quite some time still. The signal-to-noise optimizing will spatially and temporally smooth the data and create a copy of the data that has been smoothed in this way. And it will try to establish a signal-to-noise ratio of 9 in the smoothed data. This is the automatic version of that process. You can also do a manual version of this in which you visually inspect your data and choose the temporal and spatial smoothing, and then the system will pre-process the data based on the parameters you've chosen, and that basically means that it will output a copy of your data that has been smoothed in this way with a signal-to-noise ratio around 9. Once you have achieved that, you will manually have to choose a threshold over which the activity exists. So basically, if the signal is above a certain threshold, then it's considered to be activity. And then finally, you have the processing step in which this is stored into the system as a region of activity mask, which will go into the actual output processing that we'll see later, and you'll get traces that you can analyze for activity. So let's see how this is practically applied in the system. So we're going to pick one t-series that we want to use as our template. So we're going to choose this one. We are now going to do, like I said, automatic configuration. You see there's a lot of buttons over here, but we start with the automatic configuration and then the pre-processing. These are two batch operations, but you only need to apply them to the template. So once we've done that, we next need to choose this threshold, but you cannot choose the threshold before you have pre-processed, and you cannot pre-process before you have either manually or automatically configured the pre-processing. So with that in mind, I'm going to start these batch operations, and then I will get back with the second video at the point where these are now complete.